Hi, Kathy. Father Drew, thanks a lot for your question. You're looking for a clarification on how come at St. Joe's we've postponed the reception of Holy Communion until after the Mass. And so that's a great question. And I wanted to first actually say we've since making that decision, which we did back in May, we've actually gone back to put it in its normal place. And that was a decision that I made that seemed like a good idea at the time when Cardinal Gregory asked us to make sure that we were able to open up following the safety precautions, especially for social distancing and things. And it seemed as when I was asking around with some other priests, consulting how they were going to proceed and how best they were able to go forward. Some of them had actually mentioned that a few of them, not very many, but by having Holy Communion after, it seemed like a way that made sense, so that folks who were comfortable coming to Mass but who might not be comfortable coming up for Holy Communion could still go to Mass, go to the whole Mass, and that way only those who wanted to go to Holy Communion who were comfortable doing that would go up for that. So it seemed like a way to space the congregation at the time. This is probably more so on Sundays than during the week. I noticed during the week for the daily Mass crowd that practically everybody was receiving Holy Communion. So I noticed it not to have a particular impact. However, during the Sunday celebration, sometimes quite a few people would stay until the end of Mass and then they would leave, and then sometimes a third or almost even a half of the congregation would get up and leave, and then the remainder would come up and receive Holy Communion. So it just seemed like a way to space socially during this very unusual time. That's kind of the idea that I was going with when I made the call. As like I said, the Cardinal said, ensure that you can socially distance and space properly as you're trying to figure out how you're able to open up safely. And so that we had tried that for a while, and we went back to putting it in the normal place because I like I said, I noticed that it seemed to be an extra additional precaution, I guess, that at this point doesn't seem particularly necessary. And so that's the answer for why we were doing it that way here at St. Joe's in that particular regard. So thank you, Kathy, for asking that question. I should probably also maybe mention, it might be useful or worth remembering that there's no obligation to receive Holy Communion at any particular Mass. That's actually something that I think some folks can actually benefit from remembering that there's no one's ever under any compulsion when they go to Mass to come up and to receive Holy Communion. I think lots of folks think that that's just that's just normal, and that's just how you go to Mass and when it's that part of Mass you go up and receive Holy Communion, and just by the function of your at Mass, that's part of what you do when you go to Mass in the Catholic Church, that you receive Holy Communion. And people sometimes actually might be forgetful that it's like, oh no, that's actually that participation in Holy Communion when the faithful come up and to receive Holy Communion is something that's really important, and it's done with a special preparation and a special understanding, and it's not just something that everybody does when they show up at Mass. And so I think that might be a useful thing to help to remember as a part of this as well. It could make our participation in Holy Communion something that's better prepared, or especially for lots of folks who haven't been able to receive Holy Communion. I mean, I take Holy Communion to folks in their houses, at the hospital, we give Holy Communion in any way that folks that we can when folks are in need of receiving, especially if they're sick or if they're dying. We really help and make sure that they can receive Holy Communion. But it's also very important to remember that Holy Communion, we got to be prepared for it. We got and so that I think might be an unintended benefit to the difficulties that we're experiencing during this set of circumstances with the corona and the restrictions and such, that it can cause us hopefully to cherish the opportunity to receive Holy Communion all the more. That it should, if my parishioners at St. Joe's are all the more hungry to receive Holy Communion, and all the better prepared when they finally are able, because I know lots of folks are still saying, Father, I'm waiting to come back. And so if they come back when they do, and they're very eager to receive Holy Communion, and that there's been produced in my parishioners a strong hunger for receiving Holy Communion, I think that would actually be wonderful. And could you imagine if Eucharistic piety and devotion in our parish has increased on account of this absence? Hopefully, it can be a case. This is a hopeful thing that absence can actually make the heart grow fonder for receiving our Lord in Holy Communion. So I'm going to be very attentive to encouraging that among my parishioners as we get closer to hopefully here, who knows when, getting things back to normal. So Kathy, thanks again for your question. If this was helpful, let me know. I'd love your responses. And again, you're the first one, so you're the big winner in helping me out with the New Year's resolution that I'm working on to make good use of this technology here. So if this is a good, useful way, let me know. Like and subscribe, as they say in a lot of these videos, but or reply somehow, and you can let me know. Thanks so much, Kathy, and we'll look forward to further questions or anything else you might need. God bless you guys, and talk to you later. Bye.